everyone, this is Dude Dreamer. So yes, today I'm doing a movie review. A very interesting movie that I have been waiting for a very long time. And you know that myself and Jedi Bender mentioned this when we first saw the trailer. I'm talking about Batman versus the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And I was, oh my God, I words can't describe how I felt when I first watched this movie. But before we get into the movie, I want to introduce to you guys my partner in crime, Jedi Bender. He's going to be doing this review with me. What's up, Jedi?
Hey everybody, happy to be here talking about Batman versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles again, this time with Duo Dreamer. This is my third time covering it, but we did say we would cover it together, and I never get tired of talking about this movie because, yeah, it's exactly what Duo said. This movie was amazing from beginning to end, and it was a fanboy's dream come true to see this actually happen.
Right. So with this review, there's going to be some spoilers. We're not going to spoil the whole movie for you guys because there's a lot of things that we want you to experience yourself when it comes to this movie.
Absolutely.
And just to let you know, one spoiler will tell you that there is a epilogue after the credits, which is gonna shock you guys. We're not gonna tell you what it is. It's a big, huge shocker to see this.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes, it is.
So anyway, I know that Richard Jedi Bender watched it before me because he got the digital copy before we were able to get the physical copy. So I was able to get the physical copy at Walmart. I decided to get Blu-ray and DVD because this was a special thing. This was a special thing. So because usually I get
Yes.
just DVDs, but I had
Yes.
to get both because I do have my PlayStation 4, so I can watch it in Blu-ray. I haven't watched it in Blu-ray yet. I just watch it in DVD for now. But
Okay.
the first moments of the movie when I watched it, oh my goodness, I was like, this is beautiful. And I have to say, this is actually the first Ninja Turtle uh, either movie or any kind of media where it felt like it was from the Mirage Studios or the IDW publishing comic books. It really felt like that. It didn't felt like, say, Ninja Turtles from the '86. It did had some elements of 2003 and of course 2012, but it felt more like it came right from the comic from Mirage Studios and IDW comic books.
I completely agree with you on that. I've said this like 5 times, like in my own review and talking about it with other people in past collaborations. This movie looks like it doesn't look like any DC animated film you've ever seen before. It doesn't even look like any Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film you've ever seen before. It looks like a comic book. It looks like it definitely came out of the Mirage and IDW comics for the Turtles, and some of the some of the Bronze Age, and well, even a little bit of Batman the Animated Series comics too. Like it looks so unique and beautiful. I legitimately cannot stop praising how amazing this movie looks from beginning to end. There is no bad frame rate. The every in between frame is perfect. It flows nice. It's just a work of art. This is literally a piece of art right here.
Right. And what I also love from the movie is the contrast of characters interacting
Yes.
with each other is what I love the most because one of the things I was like looking for is they better get turtles attitudes, their personalities right, and they pretty much had it down to a science. And of course with Batman, they had him to a science. I had a little bit of critique about Robin because since they were using Damian Wayne, he didn't seem as very serious as I get used. I'm used to him very serious all the time and not always wanted to have fun, like not feeling like he's having fun. That was my only critique in the movie is about Robin. I don't know if you agree with that.
I'm the opposite. I hate when Damien is serious,
I
especially
love when he's
when. No, I don't. Especially with the new 52 anime films, it's Batman is serious and Damian is serious. There's nothing separating them two. But here it's like, okay, Damian is more balanced out. He's very comedic and very youthful, but he is serious when he needs to be. I'm like, yes, this is what Damian needs to be. He doesn't need to be a Batman 2.0. Like, no, I
get
don't
what
like
you're
this.
saying.
Yeah, and
I don't know. I guess because of the new 52 animated movies with the DC movie universe, I'm so used to him just being always serious and always brooding. Even
yes,
though I feel like like you don't have to, kid. So I
no,
was used to that, but then after what you said, I was thinking, yeah, they need to balance him out, especially when it comes to the turtles. And also,
yes,
I was getting that vibe when I read the comic books as well, the Ninja Turtle and Batman crossover. I was getting that vibe too from Robin as well, but I guess they didn't have to make him too serious. But I was
no,
actually expecting that more him to be serious. But after what you said, yeah, I think it was good to balance things out. But
yes.
getting back to the contrast of characters, I like how they interact with each other. Like, say, with Leonardo interacting with Batman, like,
Yes.
two leaders from their respective groups, and they
Mhm.
got along well. Raphael and Robin, they kind of got along well because they're both hot tempered fighters, you know what I mean? So
Yes.
there was a kinship in a way
Yes,
between
there
those two.
was.
There was definitely a kinship between Batgirl and Donatello because they were the
Oh,
brainiacs,
yes.
and I don't know. Did you feel like Donatello was flirting with her in a way?
Not at all. No, I really feel like it was a good companionship there. I really feel like they were just it felt right for them to be talking with each other because they usually have to explain these things to their groups. So to finally be able to talk to somebody who is on your level and knows how this works, I really like that. I feel like that's great. Could there have been some flirting between Donnie and Barbara, just like in, say, the Batman the Animated Series in 2012 Turtles crossover? Yes, I wouldn't have minded that, but I'm like, at the same time, I think it was a great. It didn't bother me that there was no flirting between them. I felt like, if they do make a sequel to this, I feel like, okay, the stepping stones are there, but who knows what'll happen?
Right. And though there was an odd pairing when it comes to
Yes.
interaction, Alfred and Michelangelo. And I think because I think Alfred was perfect. The character for
Yes.
Alfred was perfect because he's not over exaggerates like expressions and stuff. He's just a gentleman, and just those subtle things, like he said, like until you respect this house, you're not getting your
Yeah.
get
Yes.
your back. He just said it so subtle, but it's like you could tell he's serious. If you,
Yes.
if you know Alfred, you could tell how serious he is when he talks. Like you may think of
Yes.
him as very monotone, but you know how he feels just by the tone of the situation of when he's talking. Like when he's talking to Batman, like he's like being sarcastic, even though he doesn't have that sarcastic tone, but he's
Yes.
being sarcastic. When it comes to
Yes.
Michelangelo, he's like, oh God, man, these kids, like you could tell he wants to strangle them, but
Oh,
like
yes.
he's
I
a
love that.
gentleman about it. So
Yes.
I like how they all contrast with each other, especially when it came to Ra's al Ghul and Shredder. I love how they interact with each other. I
Yes.
love the part. There was one part where Shredder was telling her, like, I'm losing my patience," and that's Shredder. That was Shredder. He doesn't
Yes.
like to wait. He wants things done, and if he feels like he did his job, he wants his payment in full now. He
Mm.
does not take bullshit from anybody. But I
Yes.
like Ra's al Ghul's response where he says, "Well, you acted all impatient is ticking me off, so we're even." I'm like,
Yes.
damn.
Yes. That's
So
race. That is
that is
race.
race.
That's
That is race because I don't see race as the type of guy that like gets too angry. Like he's
no,
always
no.
just like, he's calm. He's
Yes.
like I know what I have to do. And even though when things go awry, you don't see him freaking out.
Yeah,
You don't see him
yes,
freaking
exactly.
out.
Yes, he
So
adapts to it. That's what I love. Yes, you hit the nail on the head right there. Well, and the way and this took me like 3 viewings to remember this. I'm like, that's right. Raish is technically older than Shredder, so it's kind of like a naive friend and a calm friend, or kind of a brother fight, and I like that. I'm like, okay, one is naive and doesn't like to wait. The other one is calm, collecting and calculating, and I love that pairing. That's such a great idea for these two to be like that, and it
and
was
they still
perfect.
got along well. They still got along because they both want something from each other. Like
Yes.
Shredder wants the League as well as his foot. He already has the foot, but he also wants the League of Assassins as well. And he mentioned
Yes.
that. So it's like he wants that.
Mm-hmm.
Raish wants Gotham. He wanted to destroy Gotham, rebuild in his own image, kind of thing. So pretty much they're all getting what they want. They're all
Mm-hmm.
getting what they want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was actually good. I also love the turtles interacting with the Rogues Gallery of the Batman.
Yes, that was awesome.
That was awesome. You know, like with Mr. Freeze, Bane, the Scarecrow, Poison Ivy, Joker, and Harley Quinn was just beautiful. And I like how the Joker interacts with them too. So everything about this movie, it was just great to see that no neither franchise was given like special treatment. I think it was
No.
like a very good balance of portraying these characters, and I thought that you know working with Nickelodeon, DC did a wonderful job.
I feel that way too. Yes, everything was equally balanced, and each character got the same amount of screen time. There was no one person who got more than the other. The pairings were good; they made sense, and just overall, these characters felt like characters. They didn't feel like cartoon characters. These felt like the characters that we know, we grew up with, and just hearing how they were in this film and just seeing how they played off one another, I think it all just worked out amazingly. Like I've never seen something like this before, and I'm happy that they were able to deliver on it.
Me too, me too. Because I know there's some crossovers that sometimes they're yeah, whoever is in charge sometimes take liberties on making their
Yes.
property better than the other. But I
Mm-hmm.
felt in this one they did very well. I know some people are gonna think that, well, what about that part where Batman pretty much soloed the Ninja Turtles? Well, guys, you have to understand with the Ninja Turtles, they're not masters of ninjutsu. They're just high ranked ninjas. Whereas Batman, he has mastered a lot of martial arts. A lot of martial arts. So if you think about that, him going up against Batman, them going up against Batman, and Batman knows a good thing about ninjutsu, yeah, I can see him soloing them. But over
Yes.
time, of course, the Ninja Turtles are going to figure out, now we know how to beat this guy. They they do well in prep time and do well in fighting as a team. That's the thing
Yes.
about the Ninja Turtles. With Batman, of course, it's prep time. Like you saw in that very first fight, which I was surprised. I'm gonna say that I
Yeah.
was surprised they did the fight already. The one fight that a lot of people were waiting for, Shredder versus Batman. I was like,
Yes.
already? I said, okay, let's go. You know what I mean? What did you thought about the first fight between Batman and Shredder?
Well, watching it for the first time, I couldn't stop smiling. I couldn't stop geeking out. Like this, my eyes were about to fall out of their sockets because of how well done this was. Like the choreography, the animation, the fluidity, and just the way these characters are fighting. It doesn't feel like they're fighting out of character. No, like with Shredder, it's more aggressive. With Batman, it's just defend, attack, like so much detail into this one little fight that's not not even that long. And somehow this has to be, in my opinion, the best DC animated fight we've had in a long time. I was floored by it. It was so good. I've seen it 8 times now, and I never get tired of watching it because it's that damn good.
It was. And what I loved about it is they were like, Batman was feeling him out, where Shredder was going for the kill.
Yes.
But Batman know how to evade. The other thing is I liked about is that you can tell that Batman was struggling with Shredder. Because I know a lot of people are saying, well, Batman knows ninjutsu too, so how come he's having trouble with Shredder? Because the form of ninjutsu that Shredder knows, and as well as the Ninja Turtles know, is an ancient art that was lost for centuries. So it's maybe something that Batman has never learned. He heard of it, but he there was no records of how to do their techniques and whatnot. Hence why we saw in that battle how Shredder actually beat Batman.
Yes, and I like how it was done. Yes, I liked how that was done. As a huge Batman fan, I like seeing Batman learn and adapt over time, and just having Shredder beat him, even though Batman technically was kicking his ass throughout the fight, because he knew
but it
Shredder.
Wasn't an easy feat, though. It wasn't.
No, it wasn't. Just because Batman was winning for a short time because he thought he figured out Shredder's fighting style. Then when Shredder pulls something out of nowhere, I love that Batman. It hit him, like it hit him hard. That oh my god, like. I was like, oh my god, he lost. And I was so excited because I'm like, yes, this is what I like. I like it when something like when this type of stuff happens because, again, as any Batman fan will know, that's Batman's greatest ability. If you beat him once, he learns from it and he comes back even stronger. So I liked how they did that.
Which pretty much, again, goes to, in my opinion, why he was able to defeat all 4 turtles by himself. Because again, the turtles know the ninjutsu art of the foot, just like Shredder. The only thing is that with the turtles, it's more passive.
Yes,
that's more than aggressive. Because Splinter, he knows that. It's kind of like saying like Ryu knows Atsuken and Akuma knows a murderous version of the Atsuken kind of thing.
Yes, that's a perfect comparison.
It's sort of like that. And I like how both sides were analyzing each other. Like, Batman was analyzing him as he was fighting. Leonardo was analyzing. He was saying like, well, I know that when he was fighting us, he wasn't trying to kill us. He wasn't trying to hurt us. He was figuring us out like a detective. So I love the part where how they were figuring them out, how they were able to find the Batcave, which is something that not many people could do, but Donatello was able to do it. So it showcased Donatello's brains of how to figure things out. Of course, with Raphael, we saw his aggressiveness, and when he almost killed Penguin's goons, he could have killed him. He's like, oh, did you know there was a dumpster there? I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
And as for Michelangelo, being very unpredictable, very I wouldn't say childlike, but just very free-spirited. Like it was exactly how I pictured Michelangelo to be, especially when it comes to seeing things like, and I can't believe he did this when they went to the Batcave. He touched Batman's cowl. Cape and cowl.
Yes.
I'm like, Mike, what are you doing? And of course, Robin didn't take that well.
No, we didn't. It's like you said.
The cape and cowl is very sacred.
Yeah, nobody touches that shit. No, nobody except Batman's sons touch his cowl. So yeah, Mikey kind of had it coming.
Right.
You've been hitting the nail on the head. Yeah, like that is something even I explained in my review. I'm like, because many people weren't paying attention. I'm sure many people weren't paying attention to this, but if you really analyze this film by watching it again and again, you notice that the animators and the way they storyboarded and choreographed this fight, they don't have all of these characters fight the same. No, they make sure that they're distinguished, and when they fight each other, you can tell exactly what kind of martial arts they're using, or you can tell how they're fighting. Like with Batman, it's like you said, he fights like a detective. With Leonardo, he's more balanced. With Raphael, he's aggressive. With Donnie, he goes in smart, and with Mikey, he has a free spirit to him. So I love that they did that. They didn't have to do that. They didn't have to put that much detail into their fighting styles and that way into their characters, but they did it, and I'm so glad they did, because that makes this Batman versus Turtle fight, as short as it was, that makes it feel special and very, very unique.
Yeah, and I know some people are gonna say, "Well, it's called Batman versus the Ninja Turtles." Just because you have the word "versus" doesn't mean that they're gonna be going all out on each other throughout the whole.
No,
Sometimes
absolutely.
it's it's seeing these two together when they say "versus." Sometimes,
Exactly.
and yes, they might have a conflict where they clash heads, which they have clashed heads on a couple of occasions in this movie. So in a
Yes.
way, it's still sort of a versus thing, not necessarily have to do with just fisticuffs, because we saw one part where Batman said, "I'm done with you guys. I don't think you guys are fit to do this type of work," and he wanted to do it on his own with Batgirl, with Robin, and it took him. I don't know. I was surprised where this particular turtle convinced them that we need to work together. Like, I was surprised.
Yes, I agree with you right there. I think just because they have the word versus, that doesn't mean they don't fight each other with fisticuffs, like you said. No, it's literally more than that, and I like that once again in the writing. It is still Batman versus the Ninja Turtles, but it's different. It's Batman coming to trust the Ninja Turtles.
Right. And also it's a contrast of their way of doing things, the way of doing, fighting crime and stuff. Like Batman does this his way, the Turtles do it their way. So you
Yes.
have those two different ideologies clashing with each other, where Batman feels like, okay, these guys are too brash, you guys are too, unpredictable. I can't work with you guys.
Yes,
Whereas
I
the
completely agree.
Turtles, like Raphael, he goes in headlong. No, like, don't care if it's a trap or not. He goes in there headlong, and not waiting for, expecting the unexpected, like how Batman does. He always expects the unexpected. Where someone like Raphael or even Michelangelo, they don't. And with
Yes.
that, we saw what happened to Batman. I'm not going to tell you what happened to Batman in this one. You need to figure it out yourself. Why? What happened to Batman in it? Because of their um, over eagerness to do the right thing. But sometimes you have to stop, think before you act.
Yes.
So those are kind of the things where we talk about verses, because it's not just fisticuffs who can win the battle, it's also their personalities clash with each other. Can they coexist as a team is
Right.
the question. You know what I mean? And I think we got the answer at the end, that they were able to coexist as a team.
I agree.
Yeah. So anyway, let's talk about the plot of the story. In my opinion, the plot was pretty good. Like, it was way different from the comic book, because in the comic book, the turtles came from a different dimension to Gotham City. Shredder was there, pretty much wanted the same thing. He wanted the Lazarus Pit and everything. But in this one, of course, Ra's al Ghul has new plans to want to destroy Gotham and make into his own image. And what he wanted to do was use the mutagen that he got from Shredder, and pretty much they were stealing all these different equipment. Like, I think it's called a cloud seeder, is
Yes,
what
it was a
it is.
cloud seeder.
And what it was supposed to do is the Joker, and also Joker Venom is also included in this one. And I never thought to even think of mixing Joker Venom with the mutagen. That was crazy.
That was crazy. I didn't think of that either. Like
So,
that took me off
pretty much the
guard.
plan was to get that up into the sky, put it into the clouds, and it rains the mutagen and the Joker Venom together, and pretty much mutates the citizens of Gotham. And with the Joker event, it's gonna make them go crazy, go mad. So pretty much they're gonna pretty much kill themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's what Ra's al Ghul always wanted to do. He want whatever city he feels that needs cleansing, he wants to purge it by having the citizens pretty much eat itself alive. And
Mm-hmm.
that was his idea, to have it eat themselves alive by having them mutate it into whatever the animal they turn into and become savage beasts and kill each other. And then
Yes.
after all said and done, the dust settle, then Ra's al Ghul will move in and rebuild and create in his own image. And of course, he has all the time in the world because he has the Lazarus pit. He has all the time in the world to do it. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes, he does. This is true.
So pretty much with this plot, why the Ninja come to Gotham is because they found out that Shredder and the Foot stole mutagen from TCRI, and so they followed Shredder to make sure, like, what is he doing? What is he planning to do with that mutagen? And that's how they end up in Gotham. And of course, we know they had a run in with Batman, and that was pretty much what the plot is. And it's just pretty much to stop Ra's al Ghul from carrying out his plans to mutate everyone in Gotham and having the citizens pretty much eat each other alive, pretty much.
Yes. Like I said in my review, this story slash plot does not take itself too seriously. This is your standard bad guy wants to take over the world plot. And what I loved about it, and I still love about it, is that it doesn't care. Like, it's having fun with this. It loves this whole plot is literally something you would see on a Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah.
And yet this is in a PG-13 Batman and Turtles film. So it feels like it should be taken more seriously, but I love the fact that it doesn't, because it's literally been done before and they just want to have fun with it. So I like that everything just feels dark but fun at the same time. It's a great balance between the two.
Yes, indeed. Like I was saying, like the blend of the two worlds of the Ninja Turtles and Batman flow together. And what better way to use, like, say, elements from the Mirage and IDW comic books to blend with Batman? Because I think that's the only way you can have a good crossover, is to use those types of the turtles, not the turtles
Yeah.
from '86. Possibly, ones from Four Kids, which was 2003. I can see them using that. Um, Not much for 2012, and especially not. I don't
The
see them
newer
using
turtles.
it
Yes.
with
No, don't
Batman.
touch them.
But
No.
I'm just glad they actually went with the comic book rather than like the television versions of the Ninja Turtles to collide with Batman and his universe. And even though it's actually in the same universe, they depict this thing as if they're in the same universe. They
Yes.
didn't go through no portal, no dimension. They say, "Oh, we're in New York. They're in Gotham City," and I like the part where Michelangelo was saying, like, "Well, New York doesn't have these blimps." I was like, oh.
Yes.
And he just, and we don't, and they don't have guys with umbrellas that shoot guns and have a sword and makes a helicopter.
No.
Like, he was getting all giddy on it. Like, he was like, I love this place, So,
Yes.
so with this plot, I felt that this plot was very well done. I thought it didn't force anything. It didn't force it. It pretty
No.
much it came naturally to, so, like, we say, if people who never knew the Ninja Turtles, which it's expected that some people may not know who the Ninja Turtles are. It didn't force anything. It came naturally. We got it, like, in other words, the characters were fleshed out properly. For everyone, and also for Ninja Turtle fans who don't follow Batman very well. You know what I mean?
I
They
agree.
get to see how Batman is. They get to see how he interacts with his teammates and his rogues gallery. So, like I said, everything was fleshed out. Everything was just a perfect blend, and nothing was forced.
I agree. I've got nothing more to add on that, but I loved this plot, and I loved how it handled its story and its characters. So yeah, you pretty much summed it up right there. If you're a Batman fan, you don't know the Turtles very well, you have an idea and a taste of what they are as characters, and vice versa with Turtles fans who don't know that much about Batman.
Right. So my question is this: after watching it, should they make a sequel to? Should they make a sequel?
That's the $1 million question. Should they make a sequel? It really all depends. I mean, clearly everyone loved this film. Like everybody who got to see it digitally, who got to buy the physical copies, they loved it. You know, I haven't seen one bad review. So should they make a sequel? I don't see why not. I really don't see why Nickelodeon and DC should do this again. Because if they wanted to, they could definitely adapt the remaining two storylines, or they could reunite the Batman the Animated Series cast and the TMNT 2012 cast for that adaptation of the new animated the Batman the Animated Series in 2012 Turtles comic crossover. So the possibilities are endless. I definitely wouldn't be okay with seeing a sequel. My only worry would be, would it be able to live up to this one? Because this one was lightning in a bottle. It was perfect. And it's very hard for a sequel to live up to the first one. So if they end up making a sequel, then I just want them to pretty much then try and flip it around, or maybe raise the stakes even more, because I definitely feel like you could do that with these two characters.
I think so too. And right now I'm conflicted. I'm very conflicted now on what's my favorite DC animated movie now. So my all-time favorite is always going to be Batman Under the Red Hood. That's always been my favorite because I love that story. I love the interaction with Batman and Jason Todd and that whole story of how the Red Hood became to be. And now I have this. So I'm conflicted now. I'm like really conflicted. Like, which of these is the best DC movie, animated movie?
I feel the same way. I didn't really get to address that because it was very hard for me to, but Mask of the Phantasm has always will be my favorite Batman or DC animated film, because that's not just nostalgia talking, that's just because it is a great DC animated film. Under the Red Hood is my second favorite. But now I can definitely say that Batman the Ninja Turtles is in my top three. It's number three. If it were, I don't really think it could have taken that number two spot because of how great Batman Under the Red Hood was, but it still is a great movie on its own. Even if you can't pick a favorite, it's still great. That's the best thing about it. It's a great fun watch. You can watch it anytime you want. You probably won't get bored of it, and there's a lot of stuff to pick apart about it. So, you know, for now, I definitely say I've said it like 5 times this year, but I'm going to say it again. This is hands down my favorite DC animated film of the year. I thought Justice League versus the Fatal Five was going to take that, but no, Batman versus the TMNT took that spot, and it is hands down the best surprise hit of this year.
I have to agree. Out of all the DC animated movies that came out this year, like I like Justice League and the Fatal Five. I like Reign of the Supermen. What was the other one that came out too? There was some other one.
Batman Hush comes out in 2 months, and
Yeah,
then
that is coming
there's
in 2 months.
yeah.
But yeah, so far, yeah, Batman versus the Ninja Turtles is going to be the top favorite of this year. As for
Yes.
overall, like I said, I'm conflicted between that and Batman Under the Red Hood.
It's understandable. Both are great movies.
Yeah, so but anyway, guys, that's our thoughts of this movie. Actually, we should actually grade it. Like, should we grade it?
Yeah, why not?
Like, well, how would you grade this?
As of right now, I have seen this movie close to 10 times. I'm probably going to watch it again after this because I now want to see it. Um, but I never thought I could say this because it's been almost a decade since Under the Red Hood came out, but my grading still stands for this movie. Batman versus TMNT, it's an A plus. It is perfect. I know that's a lot to put up. That's a lot to live up to. I understand, but no, trust me, guys. This film was a masterpiece. I did my best so many times to try and find something to pick apart, to see the flaws, to see if there were any cracks, but there wasn't. This was all
Hardly any
one.
credit.
No, none. Absolutely none. It was very solid, and I'm impressed. I'm very impressed. So
I
yeah,
will
no,
I will say maybe some movie experts might find some flaws because we're not
yes,
fully experienced
no,
movie
no,
reviewers. We're
no,
seeing this from a fan's perspective, not like say
yes,
a like we are movie go like we're movie analysts. You know what I
yes,
mean? When we
yes,
pick apart the movie, it's mainly from like a fan's perspective because we know the Ninja Turtles and we know Batman. So
yes,
I would say
absolutely.
like I would have to match your grade of an A plus for this one too because I felt that both franchises was getting the right treatment. They're getting equal treatment, and not a lot of crossover movies do that for, like, say, a different franchise. Not many do that.
No,
So far there was one that actually did do justice to me when it comes to crossover movie was like Jason, Freddy versus Jason. So I felt they did well. Well, uh, considering the fact that Jason and Freddy were part of the same company of New Line Cinema,
yes,
and this is when New Line bought Jason and whatnot. But
yeah,
it still felt like they gave them it did it justice for them equally for both of them. Like none of them
Y- y-
felt like one was better than the other from like say a franchise standpoint, but from a character standpoint, you can tell who was the better fighter from a character standpoint. But they did still give them a lot of justice on who these characters are for both Batman and the Ninja Turtle characters.
yeah. I definitely feel the same way. I mean, the last crossover film recently that came close was for me Batman and Scooby Doo because I felt like that was a great love letter to both Brave and the Bold and Scooby Doo, and it showed love to both franchises. None of them felt more popular than the other. It was mostly balanced, but this one just did it even better, and I liked that. I really think like no other crossover film is going to be able to top this. Like even if it's a fan favorite, like Power Rangers and Justice League or Batman and Elmer Fudd, it doesn't matter. This should be the example of how you do a crossover between your characters, regardless if it's in live action or animated form, because in my opinion, I think this has set the bar high for crossover films.
I,
So I,
I, I like to say so too. I think so
yeah,
too.
so yeah, no, it is. It's perfect. It again, it's perfect.
Yes. All right, so that's all we have to say about this movie. Again, from both of us, we're giving it top billing right now, A plus all the way. I know some people might have different gradings system or different opinions about this movie, and guess what? We like to hear your guys' opinions on this movie if you've
Yes,
watched it. So if
yes,
you
we did.
agree that this was actually a masterpiece or you disagree that this was a masterpiece, feel free to leave your thoughts and comments down below. Tell us what you guys think and we're going to discuss and debate about it. And if you guys are new to my channel, please subscribe as always. Please subscribe if you're new to my channel. And also, please go check out Jedi Bender's YouTube channel. He does awesome reviews. And also, he also has his own series of reviews. You still do the
My
I don't
character breakdowns?
yeah, your character breakdowns. You still do that, right?
They're returning. They're gonna return soon. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And you're also still doing the Hanna Barbera. movie reviews?
Yes, yes. Scooby-Doo reviews will be more Scooby-Doos will be coming soon. I can guarantee you guys that. You're gonna love them.
Okay, so guys, please subscribe to Jedi Bender, subscribe to me, and what have you. We'll see what goes from here. All right, guys. So this is Do a Dreamer, and I'm gonna say always dream big.
This is Jedi Bender saying, "Be air, my friends."
See you guys.
Bye, everybody.